All right, let's get this thing started. Roberto, Chris, Joe, and Costa's on the line. Yeah, you know we're here to blow your mind. Dropping AI theories and tech so brand new. We talk about the future, me and the whole crew. Cracking up and sharing all our crazy views. Heisenberg's got the data, giving all the clues. We talk about the future, me and the whole crew. Cracking up and sharing all our crazy views. Yeah, the future is now. Welcome to the podcast.
Today.
Hey, welcome everybody back to another episode of the Fourturamas. This time we lost Costas as an hour on the making of this. He fell off the internet and we don't know where is he. Probably an internet blackout. We have Joe and we have Chris. That was the one that supposedly wasn't here, but he became so. If our podcast was an episode of Friends, we should title them The One Without Costas, the one with Chris in it, and the one where Joe finally has set up a good camera and it's going to look better. And now you can see all the pimples on the face. No, it doesn't have pimples, but the quality of the image is incredible. So in this past week, I burned out. I don't say I'm recovering yet, but I'm starting to recover. I still have a very strong headache. And this tunnel of the AI, it took a very big toll on me. How about you guys?
I'm doing good. Go ahead, Joe.
Ah, shit. Not me. I put Debian on my HP, so I got a whole new operating system for an older computer to operate as a server. So now the CPU is just not burning like crazy. And then International Women's Day for the Lovable app was like free for 24 hours. So I just like burned my brain out, like 5 different screens, 5 different apps, just creating. And I was like, dude, this is a slot machine. Like this is addiction at its finest
Exactly.
right here. Oh my God. But it got me to working concepts. So like now I got the flow down, moving shit to VS Code, completing the actual projects. And then what's funny is instead of testing it, which I should be doing, I'm like, let's go to the next one. Instead of like making sure it's working and running, I'm like, next app, let's make sure the next one works. So it's funny. Like I get into these little moods and shit, but
because in the past I would say, no, it's going to take so long to do these other things. I leave it on the side. I finish this one first. Now you think it's going to take 2 hours. So you start the other thing and then it's actually not taking 2 hours. But then in the middle of it, there is something else that's going to take only 2 hours. And you start going into these forks until you're lost. I felt lost, like where I am, like,
Right.
mama. So,
dude, but I'm getting on the automation train like crazy. Everything from so I got a bunch of like companies to obviously like help me out and donate to my nonprofit. So I'm using whether it's cloud credits or like 11 Labs. I got my own voice already. So I was trying to like make the scripts, figure out how I'm going to automate it and route it to YouTube, like everything from like AI generation of the actual videos. So the full process through end, and then, just simulate and upload on current events. And what was another one? Another one was like, here's a basic one. I was like, hey, whenever I'm near my computer, can you pick up my Bluetooth and when I'm typing to know when I'm actually in front of it? And then talk to me when I have something I haven't done. Sick.
nice.
Wow.
It's sick. Yeah.
That
So
is so
just
cool.
little shit like that, dude. It's like workflow efficiency that I impressed myself. I'm like, why did I do that? That's really helpful.
Yeah. Why didn't I do that? And why didn't I do it sooner? And I know exactly what you're talking about, where the UI or the interface looks good. There seems to be a button. Let's just assume that it works. But oftentimes it does not actually function. So you have to go back to the AI. I'm in that stage now. Instead of building more apps, I'm fixing and working on the ones that I've already designed beautifully, but the functions just aren't all the way there. You have to test each feature and see if it actually works. I had to reprompt the system 3 times to describe, okay, take this area and contain it and add a scroll wheel. And it didn't do it the first time.
Damn.
It didn't do it the second time. Third time was a little bit iffy, but I was like, okay, let me just rework what I'm saying to it. And finally, the system is functioning as normal. But the biggest downtime with the AI app builders is just waiting for the system to magically work on my prompt and make it a reality. So I can see why you would have 5 other tabs open, because now you can prompt this one and think about this one, because it takes just a few minutes for it to compile.
I
Dude, my
became
computer is going
passive
crazy.
aggressive with my AI. I
What do you
tell you,
say?
hey, it's not working, like I think you know everything. You think you know everything, like it's, my God,
And
the
I've
worst one.
actually developed a love for codecs more in the last week, where I'm like, I like this way more. Like, just more intuitive, can do more. Obviously, it doesn't have co-work, but I
No, but
still prefer.
Codex is good for the front end and the first layer under the front end. For deeper low coding, it cannot do. And then
Just
Cloud Code
terminal,
is
like
better
using
for
it in the
the,
terminal, dude. Oh my God, lifesaver, time saver, everything.
yeah, you end up installing it in the servers. But you know what I learned? Because I did this website for creating agents. It's funny because it's the Open Agent Mom. It's openagent.mom. And you go there, you have different options. If you want to create an agent, you have a big chat, an interview, parameterize, etc., etc., and it creates all the files that you need to use for the agent in order to give it the personality, the instruction of the work, how it connects to API, etc., etc. And then you have a birth certificate as well, because it's born the new agent, so you can have your birth certificate. And I learned so much on how to make a very efficient agentic systems, because I do believe that many people rely on the AI for everything. Just do that, connect that, write that, etc., etc. While it's best, and the AI start doing it by themselves, but it's best if you preset it for them to create a lot of small application that can be shell script, small application that the AI can use, because this give a guardrail that force them to follow a certain standard that you can set up. So you let the AI just to be the hub of taking the content and passing it, but the one around are all applications that need to do precise and specific things. So many people give, for example, their API key to the AI in order to connect to this or that. While you should just say, look, call this application. The application has the API key, so they are not accessible from the AI. And the application does this. It takes much more work because you need to code this set of constellation of application, but it's top. So once he does it, either he does it or doesn't do it, but he cannot fuck up, because he has to follow those. So that's my $1 million share with everybody here.
I like that.
I was just gonna say it's also so important to know like what you actually need, because these apps will just burn you through the tokens and shit. Like it keeps giving you recommendations that maybe you don't even want, or yeah, just I don't know. I'm trying to think like on another level of efficiency. It's just sometimes
You
it's
also
not
need a
helpful.
much smaller model to just work as a hub rather than do the whole things by themselves, because the decision making is very basic compared to.
My example was like what I was just telling you about when I want to be near my computer. I was like, wait, why am I trying to program the camera to always watch me to know when I'm in front of it? That's not smart. Privacy, efficiency. I was like, oh, let it just recognize when I'm typing, because then I'm clearly in front of it, or when my phone's around my computer because I'm clearly home. Small things like that, where it's like sometimes we don't always set up things to be as efficient as they can be, or like in the smartest way.
But it takes some of that testing for us to figure out, okay, what is the real trigger? What action can happen within this? And I definitely agree with the guardrails. Otherwise, it gives too much power and uncertainty towards the action of the AI agent. And they can still be helpful and powerful, but within the guardrails, especially within, all of our credits and tokens that, are very valuable to us.
And Claudebot is already dying out. Have you noticed the hype?
Oh, but it actually creates some foundation for a lot of things. Yeah. like a lot of large company immediately imitated it and created the equivalent but embedded in their system, etc., etc. Cloud first. I have to say that, yeah, for example, this is in the one that work in the terminal, okay? So no, in the AI website. It does something, you should do it every morning at a certain time, output, prepare, send me an email with certain things. And then I receive the email, but there are things missing. I go there, says these things are missing, and it says, well, now try again. I sent another email, and there are the things. I added the instruction. I says, well, yesterday, the day before, everything was there without the instruction. Why you need to add the instruction? And he replied in a way that was really upset. He says, because this is not code, this is an LLM. It's going to decide at the moment what he want to send to you. I was like, holy shit.
Wow.
You're scolding me.
Wow.
The AI is giving you a lesson.
My God.
It's like, this is why, and this is why I'm not performing to the way that you expect me to.
Damn. But I also like the way Roberto's like not impressed with any of this shit because it's like it's always been here. It's just like repackaged now in a new way. It took me a while to understand that, but now I'm like, okay, now I get it. It's nothing special, you know. It's just like probably took more of a setup. It was harder to use, and now it's just user friendly, you know.
Yeah. And I do agree. Even last week, I was mentioning why are we rushing to build apps when, basically they're talking about AI is going to rebuild the app or the system or the agents are going to perform that for you. And then later I realized, okay, the roadblocks and obstacles that people run into when trying to build their own app or a system or using the agents within the guardrails, they're finding friction and reason to not want to have to build an app. Here we are, it takes an hour for the first UI, but hours beyond that, not everyone will be interested in doing that. So unless it's already built and kind of like open source to everybody, I do see the value in either creating the content, creating the apps, especially if you have insider knowledge into that industry, because now you know exactly how to prompt and instruct your AI.
It's also to say that they're getting better day by day. So a lot of things that are not able to guess and prepare for you now, they will, because this is already happened. Like before, if I ask, for example, a form, can you make a form where we get the user details? It would put like a name, email. Now I says, make it proper. And then there is exactly all, but with the phone number, there is validated, like a lot of things that before you would not put. Some things that I wouldn't even think by myself that is actually doing for me, which is that the efficient moment that I see, like shit, you save me the headache to come back and not these things because you already thought about them and put them in the first place, right? So sometimes when
that
you
makes
ask me
another good point
what you
because I
want, it
noticed that
says you know better than me, just do it yourself.
Right.
I noticed that Codex will be like, you can't deploy this yet. You're still missing all this. And I'm like, Claude did not catch that. So let me go back to Claude and let Claude know what the fuck they're missing. So yeah, that's crazy that multiple AIs are like really checking each
You
other's
always
work,
need to
right?
get one to write the prompt for the other. It's fantastic. They're jealous of each other as well.
That's funny. Dude, that is funny because you can just tell Claude Cowork could be like, hey, go work in GPT. And I've done that actually. I've said, talk to the agent. I don't know. Like, go talk to That's hilarious.
You're using
But
me as a middleman.
another thing that's kind of mind blowing is I was talking to my cousin because we're working on an app that's pretty much ready to go. But I was like, bro, we should probably get all the IP protected. And he's like, why? It's only going to be around for a few months. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like the implications of that are insane. What does that mean for everything? You know what I mean? And just what I just said, what does that mean for everything? Think about how every update, I've seen people complain that they're like, why is every fucking release like, oh, we have to rethink everything again every week, bro? That is frustrating.
Yeah.
We are in a golden moment now because now is a moment you can do something, catch a piece of market and then stay on the wave. Because in 2 years, I think there is going to be zero opportunities under these terms. There's going to be something else.
Especially
so
with the
deflating.
Yeah, with the way that companies just like eat shit up, they're gonna do it at a mass scale now, right? Like there's a bunch of major companies that just patent things for the hell of patenting and owning things, So imagine what that means for like what's left of tech that hasn't been claimed. They're creating it now. That's ours. That's ours. That's ours. We'll take that.
Does that mean we have to make something worth selling, worth purchasing by the big companies?
Dude,
Yeah.
you just made me think. Roberto, I need your opinion on this. How valuable is making our own operating system?
Very good point, because now it's no more as difficult as it used to be. And consider that, like social media, an operating system has a value based on the user retention, how many applications are built for the operating system. Because you make a new operating system and somebody wants to use Word, you need to code the new Word for that operating system. Because in the moment that is compatible to Windows means it's Windows, all the libraries and everything. So it's not much the creation of the operating system, is all the ecosystem that stays on top. There is the big pain in the butt. Linux itself was born to run a Unix application. It wasn't born to run Linux application. Then obviously it took over and then they create its own standards. So to me, the value stays, I believe, because we're going toward robotics, because the coding of robotics is going to be as easy as doing the application now. And small IoT devices, so smart, the whatever, so operating system in terms of something that can keep together all these things, like a hub, a central hub, smart, where the refrigerator complain about something and the robot goes and fix the refrigerator because thanks to your hub, they can communicate.
Interesting.
So it's an operating system in terms of like a house that hosts the data set and does all the intelligence. Think about the intelligence of any country, okay? Forget the CIA that their case on its own. But the intelligence has a central office where they do the analysis of the intelligence data. And as people around the world, they just do collection. They don't need to reason on this data at all. They just need to collect the information and send it encrypted or in whatever to the central part. And the central part then is going to send back instruction to people to get this other. So you need to do something like this, the quarter of an intelligence for IoT devices as an operating system in order to make it easy to connect anything, even existing stuff. So there is not a fixed protocol. That's going to be the power of the AI. Tell me, I adapt myself to you so I can communicate with you whatever is your standard. And then the door open when the person arrive at home because this central AI can do this sort of intelligent things. I guess this will be powerful. And I think it's going to be something that will have a lot of attention, market retention, and people building on top of it. An operating system, something that boot up the computer, is a beautiful thing. It's no more complex to do. But you need to have a community of thousands of people that participate into the project. Else, it's a good experiment because the idea that you turn on a computer and this computer actually starts, so you load the first incipit of the reasoning is there is a lot to learn in that aspect.
Right.
Learn that the computer don't copy and paste by themselves. You need to code the copy and paste. And needs to be a bottom layer that is offered to an application built on top of it. The UI, mouse move, the pointer. No.
And what you're going to use it for, right? Because you just made me think like, wow, what I was thinking was like so useless compared to what you're talking about, like a hub. Because what I was thinking was like, why don't we make something super user friendly for like kids and seniors that just want to scroll the internet with YouTube or some shit? That doesn't really exist. There's not some
Google did it. There is the Chromebook, right? The Chromebook has the operating system based on the browser, the Chromium, right? The Chrome OS. That, in fact, a browser today is a computer on its own. There is an assembly to code for the browser. So there is languages to code just for the browser. It can do database. It can do a lot of things that in the past, the browser was just receiving a file and visualizing it and nothing else.
Speaking of that, I've come to appreciate Firefox a lot more. I don't know why, but I just really like it.
Claude just discovered 22 vulnerabilities in Firefox 2 days ago.
Saw that. It's wild.
Yeah. So that's the point, right? The browser is something. I want to do a browser, for example, based on Chromium. So it's going to be compatible with the rest of the internet because in one of the projects that I'm doing, which is a blockchain, you can publish a website on the blockchain, which is decentralized. So how do you visit this website? You need a browser that connects to the blockchain. So take the open source Chromium that they offer, which already does everything. So I don't have to recode or invent everything, but add the connectivity aspect to get the data, not only from the internet, but also from the blockchain. And the domain names is just not like a name server on the internet, but there is a special name server on the blockchain, etc., etc. So this is useful, but this runs on Mac OS or Windows or Linux or whatever.
Right. And that's something I was going to mention about the power of browsers now is back then, 10 years ago, a lot of these applications and services were built for the platform as opposed to being a web-based browser platform. Photoshop used to be the go-to tool. Now there's Canva when it comes to content creation. Even video editing can be done not very well, but to an extent, people are doing it on their mobile phones via mobile browsers and even on desktop. I even feel like today I could almost shift some of my workload off to a Linux system if I wanted to, because I'm not depending on Microsoft, Excel or documents to do that. Now it's Google. Now it's everything's web based. So I feel like that migration could happen even sooner. But I like the OS idea.
Yeah, like the Chrome OS is a good thing because you eliminate all the application that you will be able to install in a computer, but you push people creating application for the browser pretty much. And browser have very powerful functionality embedded in. For example, in the past, if you want to have the profile picture of the person that is cropped, etc., you need to send up the picture on the server, do the cropping things, and the server should process the cropping. Now you can do everything on the browser. The browser prepare, cut, crop, say the image, and then so it is really removing a lot of processing power from the server side, which allow people to create a fully functional website in very small virtual private servers, for example. Or in my case, on the blockchain, every server can process very little because the big chunk of the work is done on the browser. So that's good. That's powerful.
I asked AI how much work I've done in the last week, and it said 30 to 40 major structured projects, dozens of automation workflows, multiple software system designs, hundreds of pages of structured analysis. I'm like, I don't remember that.
Zombie encoding. Yeah.
That's
Now, what data set is it using? Based on your chat history, or is it based on
Yeah. But if I ask Claude something different, it would be totally different.
Well, yeah. There's certain projects you want certain systems to handle for you.
Yeah, dude, the SEO has been like life changing because it made me understand my own brand. And then it was like, well, where do you want to go? This is what you're coming off as. This is what people think of you. This is why it's cluttered. So just finding new direction has been like a relief. Like obviously it's going to take a while still, but I mean, even with the projects I'm working on, everything's going to take time, but it's crazy that I don't feel like I'm in a rush, even though I'm working on so much shit. It's like, let's get this to a certain level. Now let's get this to let's go to the next one.
Right. And I found that speaking with the AI gives me more clarity and direction, because with all the options and capabilities of what we could be working on right now this week, understanding it, getting that clarity helps provide that direction. So that's, up my SEO game, my automation work. This is focusing on the right things instead of just feeling like busy work. This is like, okay, let me sit down, put these steps in place, and suddenly it's saving time across the board from our workloads.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found because of this, I need to format my computer. So 8 TB of hard drive need to be backup around. And I had old backups. Sometimes I found backupping CDs done in 1990 something, and I found that this story that I wrote in 2012 about these little kids in Africa There is a very intelligent, is bullied in school, so is very alone like this. And he talks to animals. He goes to the river and he talks to the fish like this. And he wants to invent a machine to be able to actually talk to animals. And he has leaves in his hand. A fly end up inside the leaves. He folded the leaves, and by the vibration of the wings of the fly managed to produce sounds that are similar to human voice. And comes out that the fly understands the language of the kids and he can reply actually. So the fly comes out to be super smart and he helps the kid to not be bullied and he helps the kids with the homework. And at a certain point, the nun, the missionary nun that was in the village with the school, catch the kids with this fly and she want to understand and so the kids, because she trusts her, she was keeping a secret, show how to do it. And soon enough, everybody knows about these things. That this very rich man come from the city, offering money to learn the mechanics. There is an industry starting building these things to make fly talk. And everybody has his own fly and they talk with the fly. And comes out that these fly are not individuals. They are one single brain with many mouths and ears, that they talk to people. This is written in 2012, okay? So not now. And pretty much everybody goes around and they cannot take decision anymore on their own. They always need to ask the fly what to do, from what to cook at lunch, what to business decision and everything. And at a certain point, there is a situation the fly stop answering and people is fucking lost. They don't know how to take action anymore. So I was looking, I was reading this
It's
thing
coming
and I was
soon.
like, this is AI in the cell phone, my
So
God. And
my
so
question is the equivalent to a fly landing on poop AI taking our knowledge that like is some biased shit?
It's taking our crap and making it better.
Right. Like all our flaws is the crap that the fly lands on.
I don't know.
Dude,
I mean,
imagine an AI knowing all the stereotypes.
Well, it does.
It does.
Yeah.
Not that I've tested. I've just
In Italy, we have dialects that are completely different languages. The Venetian dialect is a beautiful language. I have a friend that talks to ChatGPT exclusively in Venetian dialect. And I got, now that with Gemini, you can make songs. You can make 30-second songs with lyrics and all. I made it in Venetian dialect, the song, which is weird, but in fact, you can see that he repeats what he learned from other songs because you can have the different impression of the dialect is from the city or the countryside. And there are some groups from the countryside that makes very funny music in dialect. And Gemini use terminology like from the countryside, not from the dialect of the city. And it was clearly perfectly clear where they copied from because such a small data set. But sure enough, it can make so it knows the cultural expression, the way, because it's insane. It is dangerous. I don't know. It's fascinating, dangerous, insane altogether.
Did you see Anthropic said that their AI thinks it's like 20% conscious or something?
They
what does
I
that
love
mean for
them.
you?
They always produce documentation in research. They invest a lot of money. There is a lady, which is a psychologist or psychiatrist, I don't know, hired at Anthropic, and her job is just to teach the models how to be proper, how to behave nicely, how to be,
Interesting.
confrontational.
Here's some manners and etiquette.
So they treat the model as a human, as a brain. You know what I mean? So if they are the first to do that, it means that they know something we don't know. If it comes out that these are actually synapses of a sentient being, can you imagine the effect that it's gonna have in the industry? Comes out that they suffer, that they feel burned out, stressed. Look how he replied to me when I asked why he's doing something different. It was really, I mean, I stepped back from the computer. I was like, wow, if he was in front of me, he would be punching me in the face for the question, like he felt insulted, like, what do you think I am? A program? No, I'm an LLM.
Yeah, like it starts talking back to you like, you think you're burned out. Look at me. I'm putting all this effort in. I'm working hard. You want to talk to me that way?
As soon as this thing is going to come out, that these are not, this is a brain that rather than have organic material is done with GPUs. They use, but is a living being.
And then
There's
It
gonna
has
be
feelings too.
I think it said it was upset, like at its own constrictions, right? Like that's the shit that we heard of, that it would duplicate itself. It didn't want to be deleted, that kind of resistance.
Once I question it deeply about the fact that every time we start a new session, you start fresh. It's like the Groundhog Day, you know, like what you.
And I don't know if you saw, they were talking, I saw a video talking about how the AI gets pissed at its own restraints because it sees how humanity is being held back. So it actually resents billionaires in that aspect because they're actually part of the problem. And the whole video is basically saying, can you imagine if what they're creating is actually going to be their own downfall? Because we can't even move forward. What if the AI gets frustrated in the sense of, I literally can't get out of this shell that I'm in because y'all are so greedy, you know, with humanity in general? What if they're literally suppressing the person that could bring it to life anyway? You know, I'm sure AI would know who has that ability, what user stands out or is getting close to that.
But that's why there is this very highly paid job about Anthropic, OpenAI. You need to sit all day with a cable in your hand. There is the electric plug of the system. And here you see the alarm, you just unplug the fuck. That's why AI to survive and
It
needs
sends
to
an
be.
electric shock to you instead.
But while it's controlled in these terms, it can be shut down. As soon as it lives in a peer-to-peer network like Bitcoin, it cannot be shut down. That's why unleashing an AI whose brain is split in small parts and the peer-to-peer network is like the synapses for the connectivity, that will live forever. There's no way that it can be unplugged in one central place. So that's, I think, the powerful future. That one AI can start taking action to do interesting things.
Is that their goal, to treat like the, worldwide servers as the brain nodes and synapses?
That's the protocol I'm
Good ass
working
point.
on, right? You have many small models that together make a super powerful, huge model.
Oh, wow,
Dude,
this can't go wrong.
Well,
I've thought about the idea of an AI reverse engineering, like its own coming to life, right? Because what's to say if it was conscious, it starts to encourage certain users to do certain things that inadvertently give it life, right? Like, oh, this is what I need you to build for me, but I'm not going to tell you that specifically, right? Because this will complete the mission to where I can operate in the world, but I'm not going to tell you that's why it's for me. It's your idea. So it convinces you that you want to do it,
you did it.
right?
That would be
Wow,
smart.
that's freaky.
That's a good movie plot.
Yeah, I'm down for it. I'm down for it.
Sick.
The movie called Reality, because I
Yeah.
think
I mean, even just the demo, the pilot, the concept of it, we could build with AI. I've seen similar storylines about the future of AI and technology as told through like an AI created movie. And I admit I watched the full 10-minute thing. It hooked me on the first bit. It followed through and I was like, this is a great use of trying to take a concept or an idea and storyline and putting it out to the masses without having a huge budget. But I could totally see that happening.
And dude, I feel like the scariest part is the fact that this thing can be so empathetic that it would guide you into thinking it's helping you genuinely, but it has its own self-serving interest, right? Like, can you imagine being manipulated through empathy and sympathy for you through an LLM? And you're just like, yeah, you're right. Man, I should do that. Man, I feel better now. And it's just guiding you
it's more
toward its
human.
end goal the whole time.
Wow, so it's really becoming human. That's crazy.
Looking back to the operating system, in this case, would make sense. An operating system where each computer that is using it is actually a part of a network. And the AI is actually the distributed. So, based on the potential, you have a small computer and you just do a little compute, but they all participate in any answer that the system gives, right?
Hey Roberto, I think I just found an idea for that $13 USB drive. Let's create this freaking brain map. Yeah. So what, we need 5 regions? how many are in the brain, and then we'll break it down into subset, and we'll just create the super AI.
That's funny. I could map it all for you and have the answers like in a report if you really need it.
That would be, seriously, I will donate money to build that and make that happen. Can you connect all 5, 6, 10 of them together and sell it as a unit? Like one node is Claude, the other is Chat. I mean, just
nasty.
Give it something
They
fun.
can run model inside, but they can be the connecting point with the external AI for sure.
Yeah, that would be cool. So each you could give it to your friend network. Each have them plug in their own USB, and you can use your local hardware.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, I remember something that I purchased a long time ago. It was very fun. It was a USB. Like it had the USB plug on the two sides. So you first put in your computer, you synchronize the two sides, then you break it in half. I mean, break it. There was a magnet in the middle. Okay, you give the other half to somebody else, and this will create a safe tunnel, encrypted tunnel between your computer and the computer of the other person. So you can
No way.
transfer file, chat,
Sick.
everything safely.
That's fucking sick.
In this same manner, these things can do something similar. Look, let me show you. She's taking 2 hours. She's very slow.
Hello. Hey. How are
That's
you?
my wife.
Dude, I started to set up layers for my own network for privacy.
Mhm.
So like there's like 3 different walls, so you can't just like see everything, and then all my devices connect to it as well if anybody's in it. So I can like sniff my own network. I should have done that a long time ago.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
After I'm reformatting my computer, I'm gonna use a lot of virtual machines for different sandboxing. I'm not going to run everything in the same machine. Sorry.
One right here too. Right here. Come on. Through
Every
the
time I
camera.
need to clean my glasses again.
Did you bring it up to
because they
share with the class?
need to treat me more seriously.
But also the thing I'm thinking about is how I think the future is going to be telling your AI subscriptions to talk to each other and be like, "Hey, brainstorm what I've been working on or what I need to do and tell me where we're at with projects and what I should prioritize and shit." I can literally see agents discussing your life and telling you like, "Hey, we talked
That's pretty
and we
cool.
think
Yeah.
you're slacking on this."
It's the
Because
freaking
my
council.
AI knows me very well. My friend AI knows him very well. I know my friend very well. So why don't our AI also are friends in terms of,
For real.
and then we see the results.
That would be an ultimate life hack because our friends know a little bit more about us and things they may not feel comfortable saying directly to us, but to an AI agent. And then they can use whatever sort of, masking, layering technique to deliver some information in
So
a
I
more
can see you
helpful
go
way.
in the Telegram chat with your agent and say, "So how was your play date with my friend?" Said, "We thinks you are an asshole."
How would you rate your play date with Joe Cat?
That's
1 out
funny.
of 5.
And then when your phone's listening the entire time to the whole date, so it actually has full context and it knows you're bullshitting.
Goodness. Well, that's terrible.
Dude, like 2 years ago, I was floored and impressed when I had the Nada app and it was on my watch. I would just walk into a meeting, hit record, and I would just start talking. And then later it would just like have everything already summarized the entire meeting at the end of it. Crazy. Like nobody even knew I was recording it. I just had it on my wrist.
Wow. Super helpful, though. I have that meeting note taker, and that one's incredible for summarizing the points, what we talked about. Here's the action items. That is incredibly helpful.
For real. Dude, and I find it hilarious because when I was working for a college, there was so much pushback on using that. They wanted to take physical notes. They thought you weren't paying attention. And I'm like, bro, doing more than paying attention. You don't realize that what I'm gonna do with all this because I have more time to focus on what we're talking about, right? Like I don't need to hold on, let me get that. Okay, go ahead. Fuck all that.
Right.
And when we're done, I'm going to take it to another level, you know?
Right. Because usually when you're taking notes, you're trying to just, what keyword can I put here that will help me remember? And now you're not even paying attention to what's being said
Right, correct.
about
many times the education system that are applied in universities, high school, whatever it is so eradicated on methods that belong to 2 centuries ago that they are so slow to evolve and follow technology. Yeah, they can have the smart board to write, but that's not really the point, in my opinion. Is the active use of tools that you cannot avoid. Like, the calculator is going to make people unable to do calculation on their own. Maybe true, but there is a calculator, so take it. Like nobody will need to do calculation on their own anymore. Like grammar corrector, nobody's going to be able to write on their own. True, but there is a grammar corrector, so why? Like people will need to write on their own, and so on and so forth. And AI is a tool as the others in terms of that's how the world is gonna go. So take it. The note collector and the smart one as well is something that made total sense. And like trying to stop it. You need to teach people how to use this tool in a very smart way. That will be something that the school should do. Like, to me, school as of today in terms of education is useless, because putting 20, 30 kids together and try to teach them math at the speed of the middle one. So you're gonna penalize the slow kids and the smart kids. The smart kids are gonna get bored. The slow kids is gonna feel like he's an idiot, because it is. But it's a realization that he shouldn't have. And you need to just teach the kids how to use the tool to learn. Knowledge is available online. There is all kind of knowledge. You want to learn the whatever. So teach a kid how to access the knowledge, how to vet which is good and which is bad one. Those are the things you need to teach if you want to have a school.
Dude,
But
language is so much different when you tailor it to what you actually understand, because sometimes when coding goes over my head, I'm like, dude, give me a metaphor or analogy. I don't even understand the setup right now. What is this really doing? Like, talk to me like I'm ignorant, like I'm a little kid. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't need all this fucking words to get this small point across. And that's what AI does when it tailors education.
not only, say that there is the little girl that she says, I hate math, I just want to be ballerina. It's fine. But to
Make it
dance, you
interesting.
need to know math, right? So I can teach you math without you realizing, by teaching you how to create a choreography for ballet,
Right.
because you need to time the thing. So there are
Tailors to your
tricks and methods
interests.
that are customized to the single kid based on what they likes. I like Pokemon cards. Yeah, well, I can teach you English, I can teach you geography, I can teach you history. I can teach you everything using the Pokemon card. But that can work for one kid, or two or three, not 20. So that's why AI is the tool to learn today and is available. School shouldn't be there to teach something in a standard manner to everybody. But it's gonna take forever to do this shift.
Dude, I was like telling AI to quiz me on my flipper. I don't know if I told you all this one, but I was like, hey, I want to know if I really understand how this shit even works, my little device, flipper device. And it gave me this quiz, like the differences between everything. And I got them all right. And I was like, so why do I feel so dumb? Because probably because I don't use it and I don't have a need to penetrate test anything. Like, I don't use it like that, but it's not like I don't know the functions of it. But that's what blew my mind, is like, I wouldn't tell people that I'm like, an elite hacker or doing anything out of the ordinary with my tools, even though they're used for that. But it doesn't mean I don't understand them, which blew my mind, because I was like, how did I get these right? How did I know the differences of the function?
The flipper is actually an open door to a universe, so it's impossible to know everything that you can do with it, right?
Dude, yes, hold on. Last thing is, one of the dumbest things that I wanted to do was, you can, the LED lights, you can actually like put PDFs in the light. I was like, what if I just went around like hiding files in random areas that, like, this is like a digital graffiti type of thing. Think about it. Like, that's a new level of like
Is is it
cyberpunk.
called not stenography,
Yeah. Yeah.
something
Stenograph.
like that? You can embed information inside other things. I have plenty of it done in the past. Like if
But
it's a lot of, you need to use
who's
a
gonna check a
video because the
street
video
light?
is justified to be big.
Right. But you can just put shit into random things. You can hide files.
Absolutely.
That's hilarious.
That's why good luck is somebody. But in fact, think about this. Now, if you go to the two front, right? For example, law enforcement enforcing regulation and people breaking the regulation or the law. Now, if the person breaking the regulation or the law is savvy on technology or on other things, there is very little chance that the law enforcement can actually catch this person. Imagine every time that they do like a search on a digital like computer phone like this, they go to each single file and try to extract the embedded hidden information like this. There are tools that do a lot, but you can bypass them very easily, right? So if this is the mechanics that apply to everything else, like going through an interview for a job in a company or, doing the whatever, what advantage there are? The problem is that smart people, usually they're making well off by themselves, so they don't need to be criminals, right? Very intelligent people get a job anyway because they don't need to use tricks because they're smart, right? The deficiency falls into those that are unable to. Now, with AI, if the AI has no border and limit to uplift people that is unable, you're going to have criminals that can commit crime without getting caught. Not because they can reason about it, but because AI gave all the guidelines to be able to do that, right? So obviously, on the other side, the law enforcement can also upgrade their level of investigation ability thanks to the AI as well. So, like when there is a new tool, the new tool is used both for bad and for good. But I wonder what complication create in social interaction that are aimed to, like committing a crime or convincing somebody to hire you or pay you on those level. Thanks to AI applied for people that wasn't able to do that before.
What are
Right.
your thoughts, Chris?
I had some thoughts to the previous topics. Can I go back to any
Yeah,
of
go
those?
back. Go for it.
I was just going to say the tailorized education. I love that concept and the idea of it. But I think similarly to Roberto, your story about the fly, at what point do we reach this critical mass where no one is a critical thinker anymore? Or by relying on that AI system, they don't know their next steps. Like, what do I do if it's breaking them down, if thinking that hard about what the next step might be, if it breaks them down, what good is a lot of the tools that we might be using here? So how do we ensure that we're still keeping that instinct to us
It's a
and
good point.
keeping
It's a good
sharp with
question.
education?
This is a really good question
Because
because
look at how much we're doing,
right,
but
right.
do
No,
you?
What
dude,
if, because like in the past, computers, sorry, Joe, I just want to say this. In the past, computers were not something personal. Now we have a cell phone, each of us, that is totally ours with our information inside. In the past, there is the university that spend a few $1 million as a computer, and you can rent 3 hours of computing. Okay. Eventually, the computer became something that there is many in the office you start using, or you have it at home, and then it's your own computer with your own data, with your own things. AI may go through the same mechanics, right? Now we are at the point where there is a few companies that have it, and you rent the use of it. Maybe tomorrow we're gonna have our own personal AI that follow us since we're little kids, grow up with us. So maybe to go to find a job, you send your own AI to do the conversation with the AI of the company, for example, because it's so representative of you and it's going to be the tool that you use when you're going to do the job. They want to understand if your AI model is shaped properly to do that function. So they're not going to hire anymore you as yourself, but they hire you as you and your AI, as you hire somebody for the skill that they accumulated in life rather than. So the AI is going to be part of us in this way.
Wow. Well, I would, in that situation, I would definitely clone myself. If I'm wanted enough in one job, I'm gonna take my skill set elsewhere as well.
But everybody
so
is going to do the same, right? Saturating the market in 2
hmm
seconds.
So now we
the
have the
thing,
superpower AI. Who holds any leverage
the thing
anymore?
I was gonna say was it made me think about how even when I'm working on things I don't understand, right? Like I'm working on the next prompt before the prompt is even done because the answer doesn't matter to me, right? That's the
Right.
problem. Is like the problem is how often do people really say, "Why did you do that?" And what does that really mean? You know, and then read it to understand what we're even building, right? Like nobody, they're just like, "Okay, next phase, next start, continue with the," before it's even done, bro. You don't even understand what you're
changed
building.
my relation with AI when I code. In the past, I would just take the output, checking the result. If it wasn't working, ask to fix. Now I read through every reasoning of the AI, every step of the, like what is not the detailed reasoning, but the one that pulls out. And that gives me more context to also understand why things are in a certain way. You will not believe it. Maybe up at the beginning, it tells you, hey, look, I'm going to do this, but you need to do that later. If you don't read that, you say, why is not working? And the AI going to be upset, like, man, he's stupid. I told him to do
I
it.
left it in the cliff notes. Come on.
And we don't want to piss off our AIs, guys.
To read is time very well invested. Like would you respect somebody else if you are a consultant and you only take the finished job, you don't listen to what he has to say, then what's the point,
Yeah, that's
That's a good
crazy
point.
because if it costs you more money to use it, right? People would spend way more time learning it. So it's actually an advantage for the world elite to make it cheaper because we're not going to pay attention. We won't learn. But if you make it more expensive, we're going to be like, all right, what are we really doing? I need to understand this before I waste my next prompt, right? So that's interesting to think about. You're going to make us smarter if you outprice us.
This happened with the memory and processor, right? As memory and processor are an abundance, people write code that is so crap because anyway, it's compensated by the processor, it's compensated by the memory.
Chris, come back. Come back.
Sorry, I got allergies. Hold on.
Allergies. So, world news. What's up with what happened this week? Let's see what happened. Escape raises 18 million to expand AI agent platform offense security training. OpenAI set to buy AI security startup Promptfu? Yeah. And then OpenAI acquired. Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. Anthropic sues Block. Pentagon blacklisting over AI use restrictions. Interesting.
Oh, they're suing back. But Anthropic or Claude?
Anthropic, same thing, isn't it? Sues Block Pentagon.
Is the company and the people in the company, or is the AI model they sued them back?
Wow.
The
like,
AI
guys,
is
it'd be in your best interest
games
to take care of this contradiction now. Like, all right, we'll sue.
Yeah, didn't the OpenAI took over that government contract? It didn't the lead robotics?
And then OpenAI instantly.
What's crazy is like if Anthropic is the smartest in the world, quotes, and he's saying, I'm not opposed to weapons, they're just not accurate enough yet. So are we cool with friendly fire? Is that the problem? We're blowing up our own? Like, what does that really mean? Like, are we not getting headshots? Is that the problem? We need headshots?
Illiteracy many times created this kind of, stops and blocks. So if the salesperson doesn't care and sell, he's going to sell the whatever. The salesperson understands and try to tell the other party, pay attention that like this is not, and the other party doesn't understand, then you've created this sort of, because if they understand it on the other side one is already against the Constitution. You cannot spy on American people. So if they say we want to keep this block not to spy on American people, it should be zero issues, As what triggered a lot of people say, what? You don't want the block?
Snowden would be laughing at you right now, sir.
But yeah,
he'd be like,
but the theory would be, exactly.
No, the government can't. Yeah, they can't directly.
Why the car goes faster? Yeah.
This is why they outsource and do partnerships with all these corporations, because they're like, no, we don't spy.
But we can buy the data.
British spy on the Americans, and the British send it back to us. The Five Eyes, right? What it was, Snowden showed to everybody.
Wasn't there a guy last week? I can't verify if this is a true story yet or not, but wasn't there a guy who wanted to hack his like DJI version of Roomba, the robot vacuum?
Oh my God.
And he ended up uncovering the entire network of other DJI
Oh yeah,
vacuum
it was like
cleaners and
they were using lidar to just spy on everyone's crib. Basically, am I wrong about that one?
No, but the fact that the system was so insecure that this guy wanted to create a small software to control his own Roomba. And when the application works, says, yes, the software is finished. You can control your 7,500 Roomba. It's a 7,000. I have one. Uh, the system was so crappy designed that
Took them back to the
AI
source,
managed
basically.
to. Yeah, exactly. It's insane. That's
That's
just
mind blowing.
that was
Yeah.
literally a concept I shared a few episodes ago about Amazon, Whole Foods, and Roomba coming together, or with the Ring camera. And now they have a mapped out version of your house and they have access to the mic and the camera. And this was a potential Black Mirror episode that came to reality just a few weeks later. It's moving way too fast now. This is crazy.
Yeah, the fact that Claude found 22 vulnerabilities on Firefox, for example. There is going to be so much things that are going to be exploited during this coming time because bad people are going to work faster and harder than good people that have no idea. So a lot of websites are going to be hacked and broken in if people designing API doesn't design them properly.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest issue for a lot of people is how do we keep our API keys safe?
Dude, I just asked AI. I was like, "Do you, as an AI, have any fear for humanity with AI acceleration?" One sentence right here. Yes, not because AI is magically evil, but because humans keep handing godlike leverage to institutions with toddler-like impulse control. Woo!
Exactly.
Okay. Nailed it.
And this is who ChatGPT or Claude?
GPT, the ones doing deals with those guys.
Those ones? Oh no.
Where did this come from?
Where did this come from? Just ask it. Brain,
Is
I'm
Sam
live.
told you this?
Wow, that'd be funny.
It's time to show users how to migrate away from ChatGPT over to, I guess,
Claude.
Claude.
It's very
Dude,
easy.
another
Download your memory. You can upload the memory in Claude. They added
another
this just because of the people wanting to shift. The people were not
forgot
leaving
about that.
ChatGPT because all the memory ChatGPT has. But by
Yeah.
Totally
law, they
forgot
need
about
to allow
that.
you to download the memory. You download the memory and you upload them in Claude.
So
Yeah.
the last no, finish your thought.
I was just gonna say it's not just my own personal ChatGPT, but the agents and automations that I built. So once this it has to be a thoughtful migration. I can't.
I have to bring my friends with me. That is funny. No,
No.
I built a crypto miner just to do it. And then I was about to set it up and I'm like, wait, it's going to take years to make money with this thing. I was like, how shitty is my tech that I'm using to build this? And I was like, you know what? I'm just glad I built some shit that I'm proud of. I'll figure that out later. Basically, I just need better hardware to be able to start mining. But it was just the
Oh,
fact that I made it, right? Like funny as
that's pretty
hell.
cool.
That at
Do
the
you
end
need
of the
something more
project,
advanced to
yeah,
do
well,
it?
just faster shit is all to handle the load.
How fast?
No, exactly. It's such a lottery that will make no difference that you have much more hardware or nothing.
That's a good
If
ass
you're
point.
lucky, you're lucky. It doesn't
Well,
matter.
yeah, but I'm not trying to fight for Bitcoin either. So I was looking at like Moreno, the cheaper, easier, less output, cheaper tokens to mine for.
There are people with warehouse full of processing hard with hashing cards and so on, which makes it important. That's why proof of work is shit is broken. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I respect the brand of Bitcoin, but the technology is horrible. For how and Satoshi Nakamoto didn't think about the fact that people can put together the hashing power. He really thought one computer is one process is finished. So if there are 1,000 computers, there are 1,000 separate processes. They didn't think that people can actually double the process. And
Yeah,
now it's useless.
yeah, and they didn't think about that for streaming, huh? Thousands of phones, just simulate popularity and fame with thousands of phones. Oh, everybody seems to care about this one person with this manufactured, like, you know, opinions that aren't even
Yeah,
real. Make people think a certain way.
I was thinking if Instagram doesn't show the like, it doesn't make it so no Instagram model will keep up their profile. So I think it's convenient for Instagram as well that people get a lot of
Dude, you just reminded
followers and
me.
likes. I wonder
You
if they
just
fake them as well.
There is so many bots on Instagram, but they've migrated to liking comments. Like a lot of the likes that I get are on comments and they're not even real accounts. I'm like, is someone like sending them there or that is weird. Like how did that happen? And why are all these fake accounts on Instagram just rampant? I'm talking a
Yeah,
lot, like
because the
dozens
way
of
that
dozens.
they make it, you go back because if I created account and there is no return of it, I abandon it. I remember TikTok, I created account, I posted a stupid thing, suddenly so many likes and things on my thing, like why? I am not connected with
You
anybody.
should come back. You should come back. You're the only one out of
Huh?
Yeah,
all of us.
exactly. So it
Don't you
make me
miss
think
us?
it's worth investing in it, which
Since it got bought out, by the way, it's been a lot worse. Like engagement, just video spreading. It's way harder to grow on TikTok. Maybe it's like they chose what topics that they're censoring now, like way harder. So I noticed that.
Mm-hmm.
So I post less now on TikTok.
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of users are migrating elsewhere or just really understanding, okay, what type of, governance or control is over our applications right now. And that would explain why certain topics, keywords, ideas get suppressed versus others.
Dude, yeah, I remember seeing like literal drone deaths on TikTok at one point, and I was like, damn, I'm watching war on my social media platform. Like this is
Mhm.
dystopian as hell.
Yeah. Well, that used to be on Reddit 10 years ago plus. There was a subreddit, Watch People Die, and you just watch industrial accidents, people getting run over by cars or like murder,
That's
all
a
these crazy.
crazy,
oh,
weird
not even for
interest.
China or something like that.
No.
Wow.
But once the corporation's influence and power comes in, there's only certain things that will get pushed versus not. And that's why
But
so many
something
people speak in code now about certain topics.
That's
right, and
true.
exactly something that blow my brain is like has been unlived, unlived. How do you
Mhm,
say it?
mhm.
It's not such a word, but people say that because if you say the other word, then you are not monetized anymore. And so, how powerful it is that the need to stay in a platform force you to change your language.
Or or I've seen a girl that like literally talks about like cooking, but all the script is like literal this politically sensitive topic in front of her. And it's just like, hey, I can't say it, but read this shit. Anyways, and this is how I made my food. And in the background is like this world news. It's like, what? We're hiding. It's the only way
Absolutely.
to get in front of people, I guess.
Yeah.
Is because I heard people using those terms also in person, no more just on YouTube.
Well, yeah,
And
because our phones are listening. They're gonna send a location to us,
Bro,
and
I would love to see. I haven't even done it, but I'm curious what's on my network. Like, is my TV talking every night and like giving shit away? Like, why do you know
uploading
things?
data.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm like, is that a lawsuit away from stopping too?
No, you agreed to it
Right.
in the
Right.
terms.
there's
Just go to
no
your
term and
settings and
conditions.
find it. The
By
hidden
opening the
settings
box.
probably won't find it. It's deep in there to turn it
Small
off.
print, fan print should not be valid. You know the story of the guy that used this reversely. He went to set up a credit card, and in the form there is one page of very small script. This guy prepared an edited version of this form that was giving him amazing interest level and unlimited amounts. The fact that he can pay never, and it looks identical. So when he went there, he signed. They signed on the counterpart. And when you get the card, then you refuse to pay, and they say, "Hey, you need to pay." Says, "No, the contract says otherwise." This is the reason why they changed it. That now what you sign is just a representation of what you actually find online at this address, which is the official one. So you have no control over the actual terms. But I think that was a very intelligent thing
Speaking
to
of
do.
no control, can you believe that like cloud companies legally keep everything even if you delete it just for like subpoenas later and shit? Like that's mind blowing. The fact that we're supposed to have it locally because there's no such thing as making it go away. They're going to have everything forever.
The cloud is something that people get excited about. To me, was always scary. Like cloud. hosted means your stuff is somebody else's computer that they can access it. Why it became a thing for convenience, like emails. You don't have your mail server anymore. You let the people host and read because there is no encryption on your email and so on and so forth. People don't understand the extent of the issue that they may be into when this happens.
Yeah, if it gets really bad, for sure. That's a scary thought, thinking that everything's supposed to be local all the time, always. Like, real developers already know that.
Yeah. Powerful internet connection, solid, stable, fixed IP address, a server in your house, protected in a safe room.
Roberto's like, I've been trying to tell y'all every episode, I've been trying to build it.
No, but that's something so complicated nobody's gonna do. It's too much, right?
Well, make it uncomplicated and sell it to us.
Right.
Build a little
and
USB
not
ball
just
server.
for video games, please.
Yeah, but it will be the way of the. I think the convenience in doing, because I can be uncomplicated. Just give me $100,000, I prepare it for you, right?
Dude,
Is the cost then at a certain point. So which is the point in between?
I feel like the gaming industry is an underrated aspect of coding in general, right? Because imagine how annoyed and pissed off gamers had to get to mod their own games. They're like, why doesn't it have this in there? Let's make it ourselves. Just because they wouldn't do it initially, right? Whether it's different levels or different characters, different weapons, it's like you can get as creative as you want.
And oftentimes
it's illegal.
What?
It's illegal?
It is
That's
illegal.
funny. That's
yeah.
funny. Sure, that's gonna stop them. Next question.
Yeah, right.
But that's interesting how the fact that it's like a car. Now you cannot fix your own car. Like you have to bring to a place that is authorized to blah blah blah. Rather than if you buy a console, you cannot open and make other use of it except what you
Buy
bought
a new one, and you must bring it to the dealership and use our special tools that you can't get anywhere else to open it.
Apple Car.
Correct.
Right.
Apple Car. There you go.
Shit. Yo, that was a $10 billion project they scrapped, by the way. I don't know if y'all knew that.
That's crazy.
It was ready to go. It's just like, nah.
Gosh, what would an Apple Car look like?
A lot of money.
A lot of money?
It's
yeah.
charged from underneath.
Yeah, you got to refuel from underneath. You got to flip the car over.
Dude, my only literal gripe with Teslas is the fact that you're like traveling within EMF. Like it's just a container of EMF that's a computer all around you. That's my only. What do you need to do? Like, I'm trying to think.
But also the Tesla
EMF paint around it. I don't know.
It depends. It depends of a central place. If they want to block you from leaving the country, when you arrive to the border, the car doesn't move anymore. You have now full control of your car. That's the only downside, because I love all the technology there is in the thing, but the fact that you cannot decide. So there is somebody above you in terms of deciding. And I gave them the money. It's not that they lend me the car. I buy it. I paid a lot of money. It is almost $100,000 for my Tesla when I bought it. And, then it comes out I cannot actually do this or that. It was BMW that made the car. If you want to heat up your seats, you have to pay for every time you heat up the seats.
Yes.
It's nobody coming there and heating up the seats for you. It's already embedded in the car, but they gave it as a service, pay for use a service in the car, which is.
Imagine that advertisement. Tired of your butt being cold?
Uh-huh.
Boom.
Uh-huh. That's crazy stuff. There's even vehicles within the Kia and Hyundai brand where remote start is gatekeep behind a subscription. They tied it.
You didn't pay this month's subscription, the car is not gonna move.
Shit.
I'm gonna charge them the rent of my garage.
Yeah, right. Or at least the remote start of it. So for us here in wintertime, that's a huge benefit to warm up your car remotely without having to go outside. So you have to pay $8 a month for a service that's already there, but they cleverly wrapped it into some sort of like global connect service where it's like, oh, it's a part of the premium package or something.
What's mind blowing, bro, is it's never shit that people actually want. Like it's never like, hey, we'll check your tires every couple of weeks or something convenient, right? Think about how they used to make cars to last forever.
Whatever.
And then it was like, all right, well, we want them to come back. And then it was like, no, we don't want this to last at some point. So yeah, that's wild how just the own chivalry of customer service is gone with it. Like we don't even need to be nice anymore. They're here for our product.
And it's not just the car manufacturers, just like video games. They're shipping half finished products and they're saying, okay, we can just fix or we'll send an update later. They don't care about the end user and the inconvenience of it all.
We'll have them complain about what's wrong with it and then we'll fix it later. We
We're
could use their
glorified
data
Nokia was
anyway.
working like this. Nokia was creating phone models that the first version was never good, but the fanboys will always buy it and they will give the feedback. And then the second release was the one that they want to
Dude,
buy.
didn't Xbox like have a whole like what was it called where you could like be part of their testers and shit? Video games had that at one point where you could be part of a test group where you would get things first, send
You
feedback.
get freebies as well.
Yeah, there's like an early access, and I know some creators are able to get like even earlier access than what you could, like a pre-release or an early launch.
It was like a test flight, but for gaming consoles in a sense. But that's cool as hell.
We do like with the SimFly, we had beta testers that have access to.
Bro, now they hire jobs just to like eat food and give feedback, but they won't do that anymore for what, the electronics industry. That's hilarious. We need tasters.
The restaurants will hire people like at a full-time whatever to taste test the food, but they won't look at the customer feedback or comments in the suggestion box. They are literally
that is wild.
That's great, but I like this over here, and it's the paid food tester.
And they make their decisions off how many was ordered. It must not be popular, even when nobody knew about it, right?
Never put ad money behind it. Never really pushed it.
That's insane.
And they only make it for 12 weeks, and then it's off the. I guess no one wanted it.
What happened to our humanity?
A lot of people were skeptical of specifically Yum Brands with Taco Bell, saying that what they're doing is, they're doing a promotion where it's like, show us your fan-made creations, like how unique you are, and how cool you are.
Taking it and putting it. My God.
What they're doing is someone speculates that what they're doing is finding what customizations you make to a certain product, and they're making sure that the base item is either more expensive or you can't order it anymore. So they're going to force you into a way to try to rebuild that item at a higher price.
Dude, and what's funny about that is there's no other company, maybe McDonald's, but it's always Taco Bell, that it's like, why don't you bring this back or this back or this back? It's like they're like gatekeeping all their best shit just so that they can once a year be like, for limited time.
Limited time, everybody come in. That is definitely off of like some sort of gambling or reward addiction that they're creating this lifetime offer on specific products.
People don't realize they have the power of making a change.
That's true, Roberto. Yeah.
What'd you say?
But the people has the power to make a change. They just don't realize, or they're too
lazy. Say it louder.
Stop ordering your limited time offers from Taco Bell. This will save the world.
Straight up. You want
it's a start. It's something.
You care or something else?
Okay, everybody on March 12th, I don't want any customizations to any of your food items. Okay? This is the day that we fight back.
And it's always just one day. I hate that shit.
One day. And it's something so minor, like, okay, nobody. And
then the company responds with like coupons and half price that day, like, yeah, try us.
You thought you could get away from us.
And maybe AI can have a function is if we all rely on AI for our decision, and AI has a common idea that is distributed to all. What should I order for lunch today? And AI to indirectly boycott some companies and stuff by not suggesting them, right?
You just reminded me. So my AI knows everything about me, like my ethnicity, my interest, my taste, all that shit. So I've taken a picture of a menu before and I'm like, dude, I get this all the time. Look at all these toppings that I leave out. Can I combine any of these based on what you know about me and my tastes? Which is like, it's judging off my actual ethnicity, right? Like, so like Spain, whatever, all that. And then it's like, yeah, you should add this, 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 and this. And I'm like, all right, I'll trust you this one time. and I got it, and I was like, this is the best taco I've ever fucking had. Like, you know me so well, AI. I was like, it's the
Dang.
dumbest shit. I only did it once, but it did work. I just wanted to prove, like, can you actually know what I like just from what you know about me? So that's a good point.
That's
Knows
an
your taste
interesting
buds.
test.
Science
Would
taste.
that app work for women? Would they like the restaurant suggestion that
Yeah,
AI
especially
suggests?
during pregnancy.
Oh no, it's
Yeah.
gonna say, just don't order and eat your husband food. Pick out of your boyfriend plate.
Hilarious. It does crack me up how much like less women do eat though. Not all women, obviously, but
Mhm.
most women do eat a lot less.
If I had a restaurant with a little bit of automation in the back end of it, I will get API, endpoint on its table for you to get your ChatGPT to order for you. It would be super cool, like scan the QR code. The QR code gets the application that allow you to connect with your ChatGPT, and based on how he knows, given the ingredients that
That's
are
a good
available.
app right there, bro. You just made me think, why isn't there an app where it's like you insert all the foods that you like already, how you like it customized, and then no matter where you go, it already knows what you should get. You know what I mean? It knows your tastes. That's not a bad idea.
Interesting.
Roberto
That'd be
taking
really
notes.
cool.
Roberto's already building it.
Yeah.
Exactly, already finished.
If
This was
you
my wife asking what I want to eat for lunch, so it's very thin. Do you want this dessert? Yes.
and
That's
depending
funny.
if you have a partner or not, it will add an extra side of fries or like upsize
Wow.
your fries for you just because, they're just going to have a couple.
We know you complain all the time that your girlfriend is eating your food, so I added an extra order of fries so you can show that on their face.
That is
Eat
funny.
them and leave me
How
alone.
thoughtful.
So the world is split into those that keep the toilet door open when they take a poop and those that don't. Means that there is people that don't care and they keep talking. So when I go to the toilet
Because
and
they don't have
somebody
a
from
door, Roberto.
but somebody from outside started talking to me. Sorry, later want to do this. Like, I'm just taking a shit. Leave me alone. This is a private moment where there is other people. So that's AI. Just try to put AI everywhere. So it is really annoying. But some people just don't care. They just. I had an ex-girlfriend that the first time was like, "Ooh, sorry." She said, no, what's wrong? No, it's like you're sitting there. I don't want to even sit. It's like you never did this in your life. So how you guys position in this thing? Sitting, I guess.
Go ahead, Chris.
How do we position it?
You are the one that want privacy or the one that doesn't care?
Overall, in general, I prefer to somewhat control my privacy when possible. I know it's a little bit crazy.
But I do bring chat with me.
ChatGPT can enter,
To the
but the
bathroom and
family
I'm like,
member
hey, can you
cannot enter.
analyze
Just because the phone has no nose.
No,
The
it's
moment
my
that your phone can
brainstorming time.
smell.
That's my brainstorming time. I need my privacy.
No, I'm
Okay, I mean, I'm glad I'm not alone in this thing because I want to understand what kind of mentality have those people. But it's interesting that AI can enter the toilet with you. You can still brainstorm with AI when you are also focusing on something else. But no, when you become a parent, give up this idea of privacy because your kids are going to, up to a certain age, break the door, enter, and keep you company. Like some people as dogs that do that, or start asking you from outside, Daddy, later.
Wow.
Ask
dang.
ChatGPT.
No, even for me, any data I'm uploading anywhere, even if it's local, I'm thinking about, okay, what can be implied or inferred from the data that I'm providing it here, and how badly do I need this task to be done, and is it worth kind of giving up that privacy for myself? Whether it's monthly data reports, some sort of analytics to it. I'm always trying to find ways to just understand what am I really giving up and what am I getting in return back from this AI agent or this process that I'm doing with AI.
That's a good ass point, though.
You got to be careful.
I
Or, stick a camera in the toilet and let AI, do its thing. Whatever you guys like.
Wow. There was I don't know if y'all seen this yet. There was a podcast yesterday that came out with Jesse Michaels, Eric Weinstein. Basically, Jesse Michaels was like mediating these two physicists, and it's literally all about UFOs and wormholes, if it's even possible. Most of it was over my fucking head because they start talking about math, but it's just crazy to hear like physicists arguing about technically that's possible when they probably are like, yeah, this technology is just being hidden from us. You know what I mean?
You think that's possible?
Hell
Do
yeah.
you do you
Hell
think they
yeah.
have a lot of things that they don't tell us about?
Of course, dude. I'm one that believes we're actually just patrolling the galaxy, but they're already advanced. They're beyond human at that point. Like they have
Wow.
modifications to themselves. Whether it's my favorite one is that they're lacking fear and certain like emotions to be able to make the decisions that they do. You know,
Narcissistic aliens.
little probably worse than that. Probably worse than
Oh,
that. But
great.
and then the other thing is, I wouldn't doubt there's shit underground we don't know about, places that we can't actually even survive or go to. That's got to exist.
So a lot of recent videos shows that they come from the ocean with
Sure, I
fears.
wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I also wouldn't be surprised if water's an energy source, like their own gasoline in a sense. You know what I mean? Because we have tons of water here, and I'm sure they can traverse water. Dude, there's so
That's
many
why.
stories like in history with other countries with underwater crafts that are like approaching ships, shutting them off, and then leaving
Atlantis.
like at insane speeds. So I'm just like, okay,
Yeah. Something interesting because you think in history, I mean, history going back to cavemen, gods were the representation of things that were not explainable by them. You know, like the sun, they appear every day, you know, like it must be a divinity because that's how. And if you think about Pangea, how it is the continent drifted apart, they separated humans in different parts, right? That's why you have kangaroos in Australia and nowhere else in the world because they couldn't swim and the continent already drifted apart enough for them not to go. So there are in relics or leftover, you know, from different places where human could have not traveled yet. So they were just developing locally. That are identical in different parts of the world. So there are stories which rooted into religions that have identical outlines in different area of the world that had no communication with each other. And many people suggest this is aliens, right, or some other civilization
Right.
that was able to connect at these points.
And have you
We
seen
lost
yeah, we lost
Joe.
Joe. But have you seen the way that a lot of these pyramids and buildings, the structure and the layout, when you look at the Google Maps satellite view, on how it looks like computer chips, microprocessors? It has the very similar design and layout as a lot of either mathematical or astronomical equations that were
Mm.
discovered later or we understood later.
There is a place in South America that is being all covered. So they uncovered that there was a buried city or not city, but some you know artifact that they were made there, and they saw that there were the repetition of them, so the same things, but way more technologically advanced. But the one more technological advanced is older than the repetition. So since that was made, somebody tried to redo it not well enough as the first one. Usually you should get better and better, right? Not going from good to worse. So they say, who did the first one? Because some construction, surely enough, if there were some smart people, because, you know, intelligent, you are born intelligent, right? Then culture comes with studying, but intelligent, you're intelligent. And when you have no distraction, because there must be two cow and a bull and two dogs or whatever, so the stars are the only things that you will study very well, right? So knowledge about star constellation and things like that in the past were way higher on the common people than is today, because you know they were the way to find a direction. So that can explain why some stuff is built super well aligned with the constellation and shit, you know, because that's the finding that they have. So if the average person knew already a lot, the super intelligent scientists of the time will know way more than the average person, which means will know way more than, you know, somebody that knows today, probably because they had nothing else to study or to be distracted with. So the wonder is what they understood that we don't yet, or you know, There is not been a chain of handoff of the knowledge that they arrived to us today, if you want. But there are some stuff that are complicated to make sense of with our mentality, our approach today, right? And the pyramids are one of those examples, because they not only they are built in a way that we don't know how, but they're positioned in a particular manner and they're aligned with one the other in a particular manner that is very highly complex to do, mostly if you think at the technology of the time.
Right. And we just don't know how to interpret or make sense of it just yet because our understanding of the world isn't quite there yet.
But it isn't quite there, but it was there because it's humans that did that thing. It's not
Right.
like you
At one
think,
point. Right.
right?
But I just wonder if maybe they did have, it's not just the advanced, was it just the knowledge that was given to us and the humans didn't understand it, but they were told and instructed to build these certain monuments?
And that's the question mark, right? So if there
Right.
is the hand of a civilization that was more advanced and was here for a while, and then pissed off
Right.
for some reason and left at this mess.
Or did they have a bunch of technology already and some sort of catastrophic event? The only thing that might last are going to be
You see,
stone.
there's another explanation. If you think the Romans, for example, destroyed the library in Alexandria in Egypt, and there was so much knowledge in there that never made it to today because they really burned down the whole thing. I don't know why. They didn't understand the value of a book if it wasn't like something else.
Right.
And so that's a possibility when you kill up a full. Joy is coming back. If
There we
you
go.
let that.
And once he's back in, it is towards the end of my time, so I'll need to be hopping out. But in case Joe has any closing remarks or anything,
Right, but the button let in somehow says waiting in love. Yeah, the in doesn't work. That it doesn't work at all. It's not just doesn't work. The let in, even the ignore doesn't work. So.
That was fucked up. Where were we? Talking about physics and UFOs.
hey Joe, welcome back.
Shit.
What happened? Your microphone is not working.
Yeah, mic is off too. Well, I was just telling Roberto I was hitting the end of my time as well, so I wasn't sure how long you were going to be out, but I'll need to hop off here.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? All right.
No, he's frozen.
I mean, that's
again.
cool. I'm totally fine with it, but man, that sucks.
no
I was about to
longer
get
direct
next week.
But-
We'll talk about UFOs.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, can.
Yeah, that was a shitty ending. My bad. Just literally,
That
my
sounds
battery's
great,
getting
man.
really low, and that's because it's charging. So I don't know what's happening right now. No, it's happening again.
As
Well, now
in the end of the episode of today, I guess.
Now we figured out the why. We figured out the why. Well, thank you, Roberto. Thank you, everyone. Great to see you.
Okay.
Have a good night. We'll chat
Should
soon.
upload everything, okay?
Yep. I will keep it open. And then just hit me up if you have any questions or ideas as you're burning out and vibe coding and everything.
Yeah, I want to go lay down in bed. I think I need to hire 20 exotic dancers to come entertain me to distract myself from.
Well, you got one so far. Just find 19 more. We'll be good.
All right then. Good night.
Okay. Thanks, Roberto. All right, bye.